Here we go, video 32. I did make the 33 days alcohol free. I also did the drinking experiment, which we spoke about on the last video. But it has been 2 weeks since I've done a video. So I did make the 33 days because I started a little bit before I started these videos, but I needed to continue making these videos so that you can continue watching. We've got 2 more videos to do. This one, final thoughts, and then the next one, delving into dreams. That will be interesting, and that will complete the whole 33 alcohol-free video series. It's quite interesting where my journey is at, and after reading this chapter, which is only 3 pages, I'll explain where I'm at and what I'm doing now, and I'll give you some tips just to seal this whole 33 days, because I'm now looking back at my experience from 2 weeks ago, and I've learned some things which I'll share with you just so you don't stumble, maybe, like maybe I have. But you'll find out at the end of this video. So Annie, we've got to find out what Annie says first, and I'll tell you what happened once I tried that experiment that she told us to try with drinking alcohol. I'll tell you what happened with me with my experiment. Anyway, experiment. Alcohol experiment, 33 days. You're getting there, man. 2 days left. 2 days left. You've got this. I'll give you some more info so that you can get through, or just experience, and it could be maybe a time just to decide, is alcohol for me? How much do I want to drink? Anyway, one final word. Before you close this book, I want to say how amazing I think you are. I know I've said it before, but I mean it. Simply by reading through this book with me and listening and watching me day by day, you've done something to be proud of. I hope you take a few minutes to appreciate yourself for doing this experiment. My good friend Alex, Annie says that Alex told her recently how he became an expert marksman and target shooter, and wanted to include the story here because it illustrates a great point. When he was young and learning how to shoot, the range instructor put him about a foot away from the target. He was so close. There was no way he could miss. It was a guaranteed success for him. Then the instructor moved the target just a little bit further and further away. But Alex kept hitting it. Go Alex. He became an expert quickly because he built his skills on success. His confidence grew as he hit the target. Boom, over, boom, and over again. And when it moved back just that little bit, the confidence kept his hand steady. Robin Hood-like. Most people learn to get better by failing and trying to correct the mistakes. The instructor could have started Alex at a, respectable beginner distance away from the target and helped him with corrections to get in. But building on failure is actually hard. Every miss is a chance to tell ourselves, I can't do this. I keep missing. Now, some people might say, well, it was easy to have success when he was only a foot from the target. And that's exactly the point. When you're a beginner at anything, including sobriety, like we're beginning, the task is supposed to be easy. An easy task. If it's too difficult, you'll give up and believe you can't do it. But you build on a foundation of success. The next step becomes achievable. You don't expect to run a marathon without first running a mile. Not the marathon, just do the mile. You don't test for a black belt before you're a yellow one. You don't learn how to read before you know the actual alphabet. Ha! What good does it do to start a beginner on a target that's 100 feet away? They're going to miss and lose confidence and not enjoy the sport anymore. They might even give up before they've had a chance to develop just the small muscles and little skill they need to succeed. What a shame. So Annie says she designed the alcohol experiment to be easy and without pressure because I wanted you to experience success. And you did it. You're at 32, one more day to go. Even if you only made one day and had a drink, kept watching me, that actually is still a success, or 3 days. Even if you didn't make a single day, but you actually learned something and your brain has shifted with its relationship on alcohol, that is still a success. Whoop, whoop. The goal was never to get you to stop drinking in this video series, but simply to experiment and see what happens and take a look at your relationship with alcohol. There was no way you could actually fail if you just watch one video. This one, you've already won. But we have the whole series here to take you on a journey of experimentation with the alcohol. That's cool, right? You are a success, no matter what happened through this. At the end of the day, this is your journey. My wish for you now is that you take that success and let it be a foundation for whatever you choose to do moving forward, bro. The target for you is a decision you make about alcohol with your life, and what you want to do is make it easy. If you decide to go another 30 days without drinking, that's okay, it's up to you. Great. If you decide moderation is your thing, good, do that as well. I will be talking more about that at the end though. You can do it. You can do it if what you decide, but make it easy. You're already successful. So, the next step's easy. You don't have to set yourself up to fail and decide to quit forever and then maybe fail at that. If that's going to be too hard, in fact, I say don't quit alcohol forever. Addie says, I know if I did, my brain would rebel and I might be tempted to have a drink. So, don't say you're going to give up forever. I like to say that I drink as much as I want, whenever I want. We'll say that again. Say it with me. I like to say that I drink as much as I want, whenever I want. I choose. But I think the thing to realize is it does take a bit for the alcohol to get out of your system. So without that addictive impulse, the 4 days, 4 days to fully get out of your system, so then you are making a choice. So maybe thinking about that, for me, once I've had alcohol, I do have to wait a week at least. That could be my new level. Coming up with that on the spot. What do you think? And the reality is that by knowing and reminding myself of the truth about alcohol, I haven't wanted to drink for years, says Annie. It's not, she hasn't stopped. She sort of used a bit of a trick on the brain so it doesn't become rebellious and say, give up, I'm gonna drink everything. Take it in steps you know you can achieve, and then move the target back as your confidence grows. It's your life. You get to decide. When most people decide to quit drinking, they think they have to make it a lifelong commitment, a marriage. Let's get divorced. That means that if you ever have a drink in their life, entire life, then they've failed. You set yourself up to fail. That's a lot of pressure. But if you decide, I'm not going to drink for today, or just this weekend, or even this just a week, it's a much easier to handle. Hit the target, reassess, make new targets. Your brain is amazing, and you can program it to do what you want by repeatedly succeeding. If you make the target too hard to hit, you'll constantly fail, and then if you feel like a failure, you will feel like a drink. When that happens, your brain gets the message that you're a failure and you feel like to drink. You want to have another drink to get rid of that feeling. It's a cycle. And you start to believe it. When you believe you're a failure when it comes to alcohol, and that belief makes your life so difficult. Train your brain to believe you're successful in this area of alcohol instead. Just really then celebrating the weekend, the 3 days without alcohol. You're celebrating success and rewiring your relationship with alcohol. That's pretty cool. You can do anything you decide to do then, once you have those successes. Puts the power back in your hands. Make the smallest possible decision that you know you can succeed at right now. All you have to do is show up. Hit the easy target. Just the easy one. Next weekend for 4 days. 4 days I think is a good thing. And congratulate yourself on the win. Congratulate yourself by going 4 days alcohol free by having a drink. Maybe. You decide. You have all the tools you need to succeed with this video series. If you'd like more support resources, there's the alcoholexperiment.com. There is chatting with me, if you want, on any of these videos. And we're already a success. We've got this just by watching, by thinking, by understanding our relationship with alcohol and experimenting with what we can do and being successful. So Annie says, with all the love in my heart, Annie. That's the end of the book. It was good. So video 32, I do need to make video 33 to give you the full 33-day alcohol-free video series. I've done alcohol-free for 33 days, and I'm now going to tell you what happened when I tried the experiment of drinking, which I explained last video. Yeah, so I made sure that, like she said, no stimulation. I didn't want to connect drinking alcohol with an already happy environment to then reconnect my relationship with alcohol, thinking that alcohol makes me happy. Maybe not. It's just the environment you're in. So I turned off everything. No TV, no Instagram, no talking on the phone. Turn the phone off. And I was only allowed one alcoholic drink every hour, and then sit in it and watch what happens. So the first drink, bam, I have it. I did record myself. That's the only thing I was allowed to do. Every hour, record myself, see what's happening, and explain. So I watched them again to give it back to you. I haven't got the video editing skills to take those videos and edit them together. So it's just an overview. That was every hour I was filming myself. It got interesting as I got drunk. I'll tell you that now. The drunker I got. But the first few I'll tell you about. Number one, I had the alcohol, sat in it. It took about half an hour, and no, more than that. It took 15 minutes, that's right. 15 minutes, and then I got a buzz to the half an hour. So I had like this 15, 20-minute buzz. That, you know, that good euphoric feeling? Yeah. So that happened in the first hour for 15, 20 minutes. And then I was like, yeah, okay, this is fine. But the last 10 minutes, I was like, I really want another drink. And I started getting a bit like, what am I going to do? Yeah, so there was nothing to keep myself distracted. The only thing I had to do, I was allowed to do, was sit in the emotions. Luckily, I've done some meditation, so I've put myself in experiences like this before where I'm not allowed to do anything. I have done a 10-day Vipassana retreat where it was 10 days of no talking, no books, no music, nothing. So I knew what I was putting myself in for. I said, all right, if I can do 10 days, I can definitely do the next 5 hours, just me and alcohol. The 10 days was just me and meditation. So different story. Maybe I'll do a video series on that. Anyway, back to the alcohol. Last 10 minutes of that hour, I got a bit antsy going, I really want another drink. And it made me realize I have never in my whole life ever just drunk one alcoholic beverage in an hour. Because normally if I decide I'm drinking, then I'm drinking. So the first drink I finish in 10 minutes. I would, of course, never wait that whole hour to see what's happening. So I was like, this is really, really interesting. That my body, it took that whole hour to get through the system. And then my body was like, hey, hang on, I need some more. And I was really uncomfortable for that last 10 minutes. So I had to wait. Then I had my second drink. I also made sure I got a beer that was exactly one standard drink. Exactly one standard drink. Because I could have got a beer that was 1.3 standard drinks. But no, I wanted to keep it exactly. It was an experiment. I'm a scientist seeing what was happening. Second hour was really interesting. Drank the second one, only took me 2 minutes this time. The first drink took me about 5-7 minutes sitting with it. Second drink, boom! My body was like, quick, give it to me. So I drank the second drink in like 3 minutes. All right, sit in it for another hour. Interesting thing, the buzz hit me quicker. It's probably because there's already alcohol already some blood in my alcohol system. And then, yeah, so sitting in it, the buzz came back. I'm like, yeah, awesome, cool. So 15 minutes into the second hour, I got the buzz back. Excellent. I sat down in it, couldn't do anything, so I tried meditating. I thought, all right, I'm in for this for the long run. Sat down, meditate. Listen into my body sensations. That euphoria feeling only lasted 5 minutes. It was interesting. Kept sitting down, kept meditating, being in my body. Then I noticed, all right, my body is starting to feel heavier. So that was the next sensation. More of a heavier feeling. So more dense. Euphoria gone. So about 35-40 minutes into that second hour, then I started craving the drink. I'm not allowed another one for another 20 minutes. So it's interesting, the second hour the buzz was less. And then rather than 10 minutes of uncomfortable and craving, it turned into 20 minutes of being uncomfortable and craving the next drink. But I wasn't allowed one. So I had to sit there. And of course, the first one was 10 minutes, which is easy to push through. The second hour, that 20 minutes of being uncomfortable, I was like getting uncomfortable. I could normally meditate for an hour easily. This one, because I've added alcohol into the system and into the thing, whatever's happening, I've never meditated drunk or drinking before. And then I couldn't meditate. So then I started walking around for the last 10 minutes, waiting to be able to have my third drink. So into hour 3. And had my third drink. And then, yeah, you can see, it's just really, really interesting. You can see how the fact of that realization has changed what I see about my first few drinks. Knowing that, and knowing that my second drink is not as much of a buzz as the first one. I've actually experienced it now. And the uneasiness becoming more. So I have sat in and felt that body fight. It was so interesting. The third hour, I sat in it again, and it was very, very similar. And I had I think I bought a 6-pack, and then I was worried about the shop closing. And I'll need more alcohol. I went down and bought a bottle of whiskey and some mixers. So that was the next hour. So the hour 3, I didn't even stay in. I couldn't, I think maybe part of it was I was needing something to do. I was like, well, that's part of the experiment. I may need more alcohol for part of the experiment. So the third hour, I was off to the bottle shop. Maybe my body was like, yeah, you'll need more than a 6-pack, Paul, for this experiment. So then that, of course, started squiffing my whole experiment, looking back at it now. In the moment, I thought I was doing the right thing. But now I'm like, no, I went outside. I started having, I wasn't left alone with me and the alcohol now. I'm now having the conversation with the, I did purposely start up a conversation with the guy who sold me the whiskey. Yeah, so what time are you closing tonight? And I found out that he was closing it later than I thought. So I didn't have to run down there anyway, which was interesting. But my brain came up with reasons for why I had to go outside, which is because that was the third hour. And that's when it went detoured. Came back with my whiskey, still had the beers. This time I thought, oh, part of the experiment, I should start upping the alcohol content, shouldn't I? So I then upped the alcohol content, and so the next hour became, I was like, all right, well, the new experiment is I just have to make a video before every time I have a drink. So I didn't even worry about the time limits anymore. It was just pressing record. So I do have a really interesting self-documentary of that night, because I wasn't allowed to have another drink unless if I spoke in front of the camera. I did end up, I think it was about 4 hours into it, turning on my phone, getting on Instagram, starting to get some sort of outside influence as well, and then music videos were coming up and I was releasing emotions and things like that. It's been 33 days since I'd had a drink, so it was actually really, really interesting. But then, after that, I did my experiment, and I was on holidays still for another week. Guess what? I didn't drink all that whiskey. So I was like, it was 2 to 3 days later, I was like, I better finish the whiskey. So I then went back into my standard drinking every 3 days. And that's continued until now. So I'm back to it. But I have shifted my thinking. I have been successful in this. I've created a video series that I know I will revisit very shortly. I think I will do, at least, I'm only allowed to drink every week. I reckon that's a good goal. So that way, every week, and I'll continue the success. I've done 33 days. So I now know that maybe my addiction isn't as strong as I wanted, but I'm the sort of person that if I set my mind to something, I'm very stubborn and I just do it. So I'm like, 33 days, I'm doing it. Even though, as you know through this video series, there's a lot of times I nearly went and got a drink. You know, if you've watched the whole thing. So, moving forward, I'm going to keep drinking. That's what I've decided. The last 2 weeks, I was on holidays and I continued drinking every 3 days. Then I started work again, and of course, because of my work commitments, it slowed down my drinking this week. So I'm going to continue. Luckily, the slowing down of this week, it's been, I think, 4 days around now since I've drunk. Yeah. So I will pick that up and I'll run with that. So my new goal is I'm not allowed to drink closer than 4 days. So if I've had a drinking night, then I have to wait 4 days. Succeed in that, and then I will watch this video series again and take myself through another 33 days alcohol free soon. So, but my focus at the moment is to continually be successful. So 4 days, that's my new goal. I'm not allowed to shift into the 3 because I've got to get the alcohol fully out of the system, so that way I am making the decision, not my body having some sort of addiction thing, and I'm not having a drink to fulfill that. I'll be only having a drink when I decide. What do you think? Well, that's my new goal. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I will come. Glad you enjoyed my little story. I will come back for video 33, which is about dreaming and why we dream, and we will finish it up. And that video will be made in probably a week or 2 weeks' time. So I will tell you what's happened over that time too. So you're sort of journeying with me at the end of this series. And the main thing I'm going to say, which I wanted to say, was if you try that experiment where it's an hour, having one standard drink every hour, pre-choose how much alcohol you're going to have, because I didn't really sort that out. I just went down and got a 6-pack. I was like, I'll start this. But of course I set myself up sort of knowing, well, once I've had a 6-pack, knowing me, I will want more. So, and then I went and bought too much. I wasn't going to be drinking all of that alcohol in one sitting. So I would say go down and decide how much alcohol you're going to drink. So if it's going to be an hour then go down and buy that and some extra. So that way, 2 6-packs, that's 12 hours worth. You can probably even start drinking more regularly at the end. But 2 6-packs, it's fine. And then at the end of the experiment, while you're drunk, tip it all out. So that way you'll have no alcohol left. I had quite a bit of whiskey left, and it's the money thing. I was like, I'm not tipping that out. But then I had alcohol in my house again. So I would say if you do that experiment, do it knowing how much alcohol you think you're going to need. Get a little bit extra, but then at the end of the experiment, get rid of all alcohol in your house. So you're not, and wait at least another 4 days, and then reassess. Whereas I set myself up to start drinking regularly again, because I had the drinking experiment night, then I had alcohol in my house, I was on a whole week off, so there was nothing stopping me from drinking again. I went the normal 2 days. Third night, again, back to drinking. The whiskey was already there, and I went straight back into that cycle. So, giving you that information, if you're going to do that experiment, I suggest doing it. It is so interesting. Sitting with yourself hourly, only one drink, and watching those feelings. You should do it, but be smarter than me and set up how much alcohol you need, have it in the house, and then get rid of it all. Wait 4 days. Got it? That's what I'll do next time, because I know I will be doing this 33 alcohol free again, and I'll be watching myself talk to me, and I'll see you there. Let's do it together again. And I'll be like, I'll be listening going, that was a stupid joke, Paul. It wasn't even funny. Who is this idiot? What is he talking about? He needs some sort of other help. Not Alcoholics Anonymous. This boy needs therapy. This boy needs therapy. Crazy in the coconut. Anyway, thanks for joining me again. It will be another 2 weeks for me, but for you, you could be watching this in a year's time. I could be watching it again in 20 years time as Grandpa Paul, still doing 33 alcohol free with himself, with his younger version. G'day, Grandpa Paul. Glad you joined me. Anyway, enough rambling. I'll see you for the next and last video. Remember, we have been successful. I have been successful. The other interesting thing I was going to say is I was very successful with doing videos when I was alcohol free. Once I did that experiment and started drinking again, I haven't done one single video. So I haven't done a new video for these last 2 weeks. Gives me something else to think about. What sort of person do I want to be? What momentum would I like to have in my life? I do want to be the person who makes videos regularly. I do need to, at least I want to be doing the weekly daily Stoic. So I do need to pick that back up, and I think I only missed 1 week. So I need to get back to that, to get back to weekly. So I promise that I will keep doing videos weekly. The weekly daily Stoic will continue. Now I've shown to myself that I can do the weekly daily Stoic and this video series for a whole month, then I know I can do it. So I've set myself up to realize that I can make these videos. But I'm rambling, telling you about what I'm thinking. And as I've said before, this is my video journal. I don't like journaling, but I do talk a lot. And you go, yes, he does talk a lot. So, like I said 10 minutes ago, I'll see you next video. Peace out.
See ya.
Why are you still here?